This is the final awakening I place before you in this moment. And I want you not to take lightly the call that is echoing in the hidden depths of your heart. My beloved child, stop for a moment. Do not rush past this as though it were only an ordinary line of text among the countless sounds of the world. I do not speak to terrify you, nor do I come to burden you with threats. I come as a father who sees you standing near an important crossroads, where even one small choice can open the way to peace or lead you into days of regret. There are moments when I draw you aside and interrupt the familiar rhythm of your life, not to take anything away from you, but to keep you from stepping into what I have already seen will not bring life. So remain with me in this moment, so that my words may not merely touch your ears, but settle deeply within your heart. You are not here by chance. It is not without reason that your eyes have stopped here. It is not accidental that your heart feels a certain weight as you hear these words. I have called you many times in very small ways, a passing uneasiness, an urge to slow down, a word from someone that made you think, a door suddenly closing, a long night when you could not sleep because something within you was not at rest. There were times when you pushed those signs aside, not because you did not love me, but because you were busy, because you were tired, because you were afraid to face the truth, or because you wanted to believe that everything would somehow work itself out without requiring you to change. But today I speak more clearly, because there are things that, if delayed again and again, will no longer remain small matters. I see what lies ahead of you. I see the decisions forming within your heart. Some appear very ordinary. Some seem unworthy of prayer. And some you think you can handle by your own experience. But my child, small things are not always light things. A word spoken in anger can wound a long-standing relationship. A hurried agreement can open the door to many entanglements. Silence at the wrong time can cause truth to be buried. A connection that robs you of peace, if you continue to treat it lightly, can wear down your heart day by day. An opportunity lacking light, if you step into it only because you fear missing out, can take more from you than it promises to give. I warn you not so that you may live in anxiety, but so that you may walk in awareness and obedience. The urgency you feel right now is not your enemy. It is a bell of love. When a father sees his child about to set foot in danger, he does not call with indifference. He calls more clearly, more strongly, more earnestly, because love cannot remain silent before something that may harm the child. So it is with me. I do not force you, but I call you. I do not take away your freedom to choose, but I shine light so you do not choose in darkness. If you turn away from this reminder, what you ignore is not merely a few lines of words. You may be ignoring the very protection I have placed along your path. I want you to understand that my guidance is grace, and obedience at the right moment can keep you from many years of wondering why you did not stop sooner. You have been distracted by too many things. The world pulls at you with haste, with news, with invitations, with worries about money, work, family, relationships, and even the expectations you have placed upon your own shoulders. There are things fighting for your attention right now, making you want to leave, to set this word aside, to say that you will think about it later. But my beloved child, distraction often comes strongest when something important is about to be revealed. Darkness does not always need to attack you with a great storm. Sometimes it only needs to make you lose focus at the very moment I am trying to show you the way. It keeps you so busy that you cannot hear, so weary that you cannot pray, so anxious that you cannot discern, and so accustomed to carelessness that you no longer recognize my voice calling you. Therefore, set everything down for a moment, not forever. Only in this moment. Be present before me. Let these words touch the place you have locked away because of too many disappointments. Let me ask you, what has recently taken away your peace? What decision are you rushing to make even though your heart still feels heavy? Who or what is making you feel farther from purity and light? Is there a warning within your heart that you keep calling overthinking? Is there a door you are trying to open by your own strength? Even though I have shown you many times that it does not belong to this season, you do not need to answer with great words. Be honest in silence. That honesty is where light begins. I do not want you to confuse preparation with fear. Fear makes you panic, but preparation makes you steady. Fear makes you imagine the worst, but preparation helps you recognize the next wise step. Fear makes you run from the truth, but preparation helps you stand in the light without being crushed. I prepare you because I love you. I show you the signs so that you do not walk into a trap. I make your heart uneasy when something does not belong to me. I place deep peace within you when the right step is opening. Learn to distinguish between the noise of worry and my gentle reminder. My voice may be urgent, but it is not chaotic. It may be powerful, but it always leads you back into the light. If, in the moments ahead, you must make a choice, do not decide under pressure. Do not say yes simply because you fear disappointing someone. Do not say no merely because old wounds make you afraid of change. Do not step in just because the door looks dazzling. Do not walk away simply because you cannot yet see the full outcome. Bring everything before me. Ask whether it gives birth to peace, uprightness, purity of heart, and closeness with me. What comes from me will not require you to trade away your conscience. What I open will not force you to hide in darkness. What I prepare will make you more mature, more merciful, more clear, not heavier, prideful, or lost. I know you have prayed for a change. You have wanted me to protect you from loss, confusion, and the cycles that have made you weary. But sometimes protection does not come by my immediately changing everything around you. Sometimes it comes by my causing you to stop before a decision. Sometimes the miracle is a door that does not open, a meeting that does not happen, an invitation that is delayed, an uneasiness that causes you to pray more deeply. Do not despise my restraints. Not everything you fail to receive is a loss. There are things I keep out of your hands in order to protect your heart. There are delays that are fences of mercy. There are awakenings that are my hand placed before your chest, saying, "My child, do not take another step until you have heard me." Now let this word anchor you in vigilance. Tell me that you are willing to listen, willing to be led, willing to slow down so you may recognize what I am revealing. I do not want you to pass through the rest of your life with the sound of "if only." I want you to step into the coming days with clarity, with obedience, with eyes that know how to discern, with a heart that is tender yet steadfast. If there is something you need to release, I will give you the strength to release it. If there is something that must be delayed, I will give you patience. If there is something that must be faced, I will give you courage. If there is something that must be avoided, I will give enough light for you to recognize it. My beloved child, I am still protecting you. I am still calling you. I am still placing before you the path of life, peace, and wisdom. Do not pass over my presence simply because the world is urging you to hurry. Do not take this moment lightly simply because it comes in a simple form. The sacred is not always loud. Sometimes it comes as a reminder, strong enough to make you stop and gentle enough to bring you back. Remain with me. Walk more slowly. Listen more deeply. Let today's obedience keep you from tomorrow's loss. And when you choose to listen, I will lead you around what seeks to harm you, bring you to a place of safety, and then open before you a new season covered by my grace, my protection, and my unchanging peace. You have faced battles that caused you to doubt the very path you are walking and the purpose I have placed within your life. There were seasons when you moved forward with your heart heavy as stone, your eyes looking ahead while your inner being was filled with questions. There were moments when you felt lost, as though every sign that had once been clear suddenly became blurred, as though the things you once believed with certainty were now covered by the fog of weariness and disappointment. There were times when you wondered whether I was truly beside you, whether I heard your sighs, whether I saw the silent battles you never had enough words to explain to anyone. My beloved child, I was there through it all. I was there in the nights when you could not rest. I was there in the mornings when you had to gather your strength just to rise. I was there in the moments when you thought you were about to let go. Yet somehow you still continued to take one more step. I have watched over you, not with distant eyes, but with the care of a father who never leaves the child he loves. I have guided you through turns you did not understand, protected you from things you could not see, slowed certain matters to keep you from greater wounds, and closed a few doors that you once thought were losses. The warning I am placing before you today is not separate from that care. It is part of the love I have for you. I do not abandon you when you are weak. I do not remain silent when something important in your life is at risk of being harmed. If I am calling for your attention now, it is because I see what you have not yet seen, hear what you have not yet heard, and know the consequences that one small choice today may create for many tomorrows ahead. The losses I am speaking of do not always appear in material form, nor do they always make themselves known immediately. There are losses quieter than that, yet deeper. It may be an opportunity slipping from your hands because you were distracted. It may be peace slowly fading because you allowed something unhealthy to come too near. It may be clarity becoming clouded because you listened to too many other voices without stopping to hear me. It may be the confidence of your faith being worn down little by little until you no longer dare to follow what I have placed within your heart. These kinds of losses are not loud, but they quietly shape your life in directions that are very difficult to reverse if you allow them to continue for too long. That is why I am intervening before everything becomes heavier. My voice may feel strong in this hour, but do not mistake it for cold anger. This is urgency, born from love and protection. When a father sees his child about to walk into danger, He does not whisper as though having an ordinary conversation. He calls louder, clearer, more firmly. Not because he hates the child, but because he loves the child too much to watch them keep walking without knowing. So it is with me. I do not want you to learn every lesson through tears. I do not want you to realize what must be done only after the consequences have become heavy. I do not want you to turn back in pain and say, "If only I had listened sooner." Therefore, today I place this awakening within your heart, so that you may stop, look more closely, and choose another direction before it is too late. You are stronger than you think, but your strength will not be enough without direction. You can endure many things, but I do not want you to live by endurance alone. You can stand firm through many storms, but I do not want you to keep walking into storms because you refuse to listen to guidance. Perseverance is precious, but perseverance must be joined with wisdom. I am the one who gives you that direction. I do not merely lift you when you fall. I also show you the path so that you do not have to fall in places that could have been avoided. When I call you to listen, it is because I am connecting you to something better than what you might choose for yourself in a moment of exhaustion, confusion, or pressure. There are decisions you think you can handle on your own, but I see deeper and farther. And I am inviting you into guidance higher than your limited thoughts. Do not treat this moment as something ordinary, because it is not. This is a time of realignment. This is a moment when your attention can powerfully change your direction. If you pass over it, you may continue walking according to old habits, continue reacting from old fears, continue choosing familiar things that no longer bring life. But if you remain with me, if you allow these words to settle into your heart, if you permit the connection between you and me to deepen, you will begin to see what you previously ignored. You will recognize which door is draining you. You will recognize which voice should no longer have authority over your mind. You will recognize which choice needs to be delayed, which connection needs new boundaries, and which step must be taken in obedience instead of haste. I know the doubts trying to slip into your mind even now. You may wonder whether this is truly important or merely a passing emotion, a moment that will fade like many others. You may tell yourself that you are overthinking, that things are not so serious, that you will consider it later when you have more time. But my beloved child, not every doubt is wisdom. Some doubts only come to slow your response to my voice. Some questions do not seek truth. They only keep you in hesitation. I do not condemn you for having doubts. I understand that you have gone through many things that made your heart cautious. But I do not want doubt to become a veil covering the truth. The truth is that you are being guided right now. The truth is that I am giving you an opportunity to move ahead of consequences that may come later. When everything has become harder to repair, ignoring my guidance does not always create immediate consequences. And that is exactly why many people mistakenly believe they are still fine. But there are things that grow in silence. A boundary ignored today can become bondage tomorrow. A warning pushed aside today can become lasting pain later. A holy uneasiness treated lightly today can become regret when you look back and realize, I once called you to stop. I do not want that to happen to you. I am giving you clarity before chaos has a chance to grow. I am placing light before you, before darkness can make everything more tangled. I am giving you the opportunity to be sheltered, not by escaping every trial, but by walking in obedience. So remain with me in this moment. Let your heart slow down. Place your decisions before me. Ask me what must be kept, what must be released, what must be waited for, and what must be stepped into. Do not let pressure choose for you. Do not let temporary emotions lead the way. Do not let weariness cause you to accept something merely because it looks easier in the present. I am leading you towards something better, purer, stronger, and more peaceful. You are not alone in this. I am before you to open the way, beside you to uphold you, and within the stillness to teach you to recognize my voice. Listen, my beloved child. Let your attention become the doorway for my protection. Let your obedience become the turning point that leads you out of silent losses and into the path I have prepared with love. There is a reason your heart feels a certain weight as you read these words. My beloved child, that feeling is not random, nor is it merely a passing emotion that will disappear. It is a gentle yet serious signal that something is being awakened within you. A part of you has heard what I am speaking, even though your mind may still be trying to analyze, doubt, or avoid it. Do not quickly push that feeling aside. Do not try to silence it with busyness, with noise, or by scrolling past as though this were only an ordinary reminder. Let it speak. Let it grow in my presence. Let it keep you here a little longer. Because there are moments when, if you do not rush away, I will use that very pause to open your eyes to what you have ignored for too long. Sometimes the most important shifts do not happen in loudness, but in the quiet of moments like this. I do not always shake your life with a powerful event. Often I begin with a heaviness in the heart, a gentle uneasiness, a small reminder that causes you to look again at the direction you are taking. There are things within you that have become accustomed to being buried beneath habits, responsibilities, fear, and the ways you have learned to protect yourself. But when I touch them, they begin to rise to the surface. You begin to realize that there are choices you thought were ordinary, yet they are actually shaping your future. There are reactions you thought were simply your nature, yet they were born from wounds that have not yet been healed. There are paths you keep repeating not because they are good, but because you have grown used to walking them. I see every pattern in your life. I see the patterns formed through pain. When you learned to close your heart so you would not be hurt again, I see the patterns born from habit. When you keep choosing what is familiar, even though it no longer carries life, I see the patterns that began in seasons when you felt you had no other choice. So you accepted what was lower than peace, lower than purpose, lower than what I truly desired for you. I do not look upon these things with contempt. I look upon them with mercy and understanding. I know why you became this way. I know what caused you to react this way. I know which fears stood behind your decisions. But I also know which patterns are leading you toward loss, and which patterns can be transformed to lead you into maturity. When I warn you, it is because I am interrupting a pattern that could cost you dearly if it continues without being brought into the light. I do not come to judge you in a way that makes you collapse in shame. I come to redirect you before the damage becomes greater. There are things that, if you continue to tolerate them, will wear down your peace little by little. There are connections that, if you do not discern them, will pull you away from my voice. There are habits that, if you do not lay them down, will make you so accustomed to heaviness that you begin to think it is normal life. I do not want you to live that way. I do not want you merely to exist in old cycles and then wonder why your heart is not free. I am stepping in with love, with wisdom, and with mercy, so that you may have the chance to stop and choose another direction. Therefore, listen to what is being awakened within you. Do not fear the truth I am showing you. Truth in my hands does not come to crush you, it comes to set you free. Let me show you which pattern must be released, which reaction must be healed, which choice must be changed, and which door you should no longer enter. If you feel this word touching the very center of your heart, respond with honesty before me. Say yes to my guidance, not only with your words, but with a tender decision within your heart. Yes, I will stop. Yes, I will listen. Yes, I will let you redirect me. Yes, I will no longer protect what is wearing me down. I am not here to condemn you, but to lead you into a brighter, freer, and more peaceful path. Right now, a decision is forming within you, even though it may be so small that you almost overlook it. Perhaps it is only a passing thought about what you should do next, a choice about how you will respond to someone, a quiet urge to move in a certain direction, or a very gentle sense that you need to stop before you speak. Before you agree, before you place your heart into something, my beloved child, do not underestimate such moments. Your life is not shaped only by great actions, loud decisions, or events that shake everything. Many times, your direction is shaped in quiet, almost invisible choices that take place within only a few seconds. When no one sees except me, I am guiding you in that very small space, where a thought can become a step, a reaction can open a chain of consequences, and a word can either preserve peace or lose it. I want you to choose with clarity, not with temporary emotion. I want you to hear me before you hear fear. I want you to stop before allowing an old wound to control a new response. If you ignore this guidance, you risk stepping into something that may bring unnecessary pain. I do not say this to frighten you, but to awaken you. There are pains that could have been avoided if only you had listened to the healthy uneasiness I placed within your heart from the beginning. You have known before how heavy regret can feel. You know it is not merely a passing emotion, but a weight that lingers after you realize you saw the signs and still ignored them, sensed that something was not right and still convinced yourself to continue, heard the inner warning but allowed haste, loneliness, anger, or the need for approval to lead the way. That weight does not appear suddenly. It gathers from small moments, from the times you told yourself, "It will be fine," from the times you chose silence before the truth, from the times you took one more step, even though peace had already left your heart. I am entering your awareness right now so that you do not repeat that cycle again. I am giving you the opportunity to escape the patterns that have held you back for so long. There are ways you react, not because they are right, but because they are familiar. There are things you accept not because they are good, but because you fear loss. There are places you continue to enter, not because I am leading you there, but because you have not yet learned to say no to what drains you. This is the meaning of my warning, not punishment, but prevention. I am not standing far away to point out your faults. I am drawing near to pull you away from a path that could hurt you further. My warning is mercy, clothed in the form of awakening. There are voices around you trying to influence your decision. Some voices come from other people, from advice that has not been illuminated, from the pressure of those who do not understand what I am doing within you. Some voices come from your past, from old wounds, from the times you were rejected, deceived, or left behind, causing you to react as though what is happening today is still the same old story. And some voices come from fear that has taken root over time, whispering that if you do not act immediately, you will lose your opportunity. If you do not please others, you will be abandoned. If you do not protect yourself through haste, you will be hurt. But not every voice carries wisdom, and not every loud voice comes from me. When you rush or act without listening to me, other voices begin to grow louder. They will pull you into reaction instead of leading you into clarity. They will cause you to confuse pressure with urgency, fear with warning, the desire for recognition with true guidance. That is when confusion grows and clarity begins to fade. You may do something simply to escape a momentary discomfort, only to carry a much longer burden afterward. I do not want you to live that way anymore. I want you to know that you can stop. You can breathe. You can bring this matter before me before you answer, before you commit, before you take the next step. I am asking you to slow down within yourself, even if everything around you is moving quickly. That slowing down is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is how you reclaim the right to hear me amid the noise. In that stillness, you will begin to recognize my guidance more clearly. My voice does not come with chaos, does not force you into panic, does not push you into a hasty decision. My guidance often comes as a steady sense of direction, a deep peace, a quiet yet firm reminder that this is the right thing, or this is something you need to avoid. It does not need to shout in order to carry authority. It only needs you to become still enough to hear. This is where your choices begin to change. When you remain connected to me, you no longer merely react according to what happens around you. You begin to move with purpose. You no longer speak just because you have been provoked. You no longer agree merely because you are pressured. You no longer enter simply because a door is open. You no longer hold on only because you fear loss. You learn to ask me, wait for me, hear me, and walk according to my peace. Then your life is no longer led by chaotic voices, but by my gentle wisdom. Stay close to me in this small decision, my beloved child, because sometimes that very small decision is where I protect the great future I have prepared for you.